What's going on? What's going on?
Calvin, what up, bro?
I mean,
What's going on?
hey, you tell us, man. What can you help us with this Micah story and Jerry Jones? What is the lay of the land there?
The lay of the land is, I just think they're not as close as we think they are with the contract, right?
Oh, boy.
I think they're playing games with each other. So, like, Jerry says, tell your agent to call me and we can get things going. And then the agent says, well, no, Jerry, you call me, let's get things going. And then you ask Micah, why not tell your agent to call Jerry? I don't want to talk about that. So
do they not like
Micah
each other?
Jerry, I think they all like each other, but it's like, I think I wrote this earlier this week. It's like a reality show. It's just unnecessary drama. It helps you guys out because you got something to talk about in the middle of the summer, right?
Oh, yeah.
And it helps me out because I get something to write about in the middle of the summer. So that's what this is. I do believe at some point when we get to California for training camp that they'll get this done. I don't think they'll get it done before we go to camp. And I'm supposed to leave July 20th for California. So that's where we are, unless something has changed in the last 30 seconds, but I think that's just where we are.
So how is playing this game worth it to the Joneses with the TJ Watt contract potentially getting done and raising the price? How is there value in that for Jerry to be stubborn and not pick it up and play that game?
I don't know if Watt's going to get that type of money. To me, the standard is your boy Myles Garrett. And then the mark that you're looking at that Micah wants is $200 million in total compensation. So unless Watt's going to get that, which I don't think he is, because this might be his third contract, and even Micah had talked about that a little bit the other day, he might not be in play. So to me, it's the $40 million average salary, which is what Myles Garrett has. So unless Watt's going to surpass that in some way, then yeah. But you know what? To your point, we know what the money is right now. Because, your boy in Cincinnati, he's holding out too. Hendrickson, right?
Yeah. Right.
So didn't he lead the league in sacks last year, if I'm not mistaken, right?
He did, yep.
And they were a bad defense, and he was the best player in a bad defense, right? So, that's another story for another day. But he had a heck of a year. So you kind of know where the money is, and maybe Watt and Hendrickson are waiting on Micah. So Micah knows what the mark is. The high mark is Myles Garrett. So everything's in line for you to take care of Micah Parsons. Why they won't do this is a great mystery that I don't have the answer to. And maybe you guys do, but I don't.
No, we're still searching, Calvin. Has there been any added pressure to you now having the first question at the press conferences, sir?
Yeah, there's a little pressure because everyone is going to second guess the first question you ask, right? So it's outside of like there's something going on, like someone's hurt, someone's holding out, you lose a tough game in a particular manner. So, you do a lot of these things every day. Sometimes I would say to David Moore, I said, what you got? And he goes, I have nothing. Right?
Nothing.
And then somehow
we know
will
nothing.
come up with it. So there was a little bit of pressure there, but you figure it out as you go along. So, but there's so much drama with this team that it'll be pretty easy to come up with a good first question, I think.
What can you share with us about the Trayvon Diggs drama? Like, how's his rehab going? Is he going to end up losing out on $500,000? Their friction with him and the training staff clearly, like the Diggs stuff's a little weird.
Yeah, he does not get along with the strength and conditioning staff, the training staff, the training staff, for whatever reason. Now, the training staff, they're old school. Britt Brown, director of rehab, he's one of the best in the NFL, right? If you got a bad foot, bad leg, trying to get back, he's your guy. He will get you on the field. He's tough love, right? Mm-hmm. So if you're not that kind of guy that likes tough love, then Britt Brown is not your cup of tea. So that's the issue that they're having. And in today's NFL, guys want to train away from the facility, so you have to let them, especially your star players. and that's where they are. It was kind of interesting that, Diggs is willing to lose $500,000 out of a $9 million base salary, right? And you could say, well, it's just $500,000 out of $9 million.
Shit.
Well, the taxes and all that.
That's a lot.
Every little bit helps, right? So
That's a lot of money. Yeah.
So it's interesting that he's willing to lose this amount of money just to say I can't train at the facility. Now he was training with Britt Brown yesterday, but it was interesting as he was on the cords, these resistance cords that they use. Britt's holding them. There was a guy there with them. He wasn't like a bodyguard. I think he might have been the other trainer. He was there. So, and I hadn't seen that before. And it was just those three guys by themselves. Well, normally Britt is working with a player or two by himself, but this time there was someone else down there. I'm not sure who that guy was. But I don't know if he was like a buffer or, you make a pitching change and the interpreter comes out there with Bruce Bochy, and then, and the
Let's get rid of that. Well, hello, good people and Eagle fans. Mark Holmes here. And as always, my mouth is still killing me. I had the deep cleaning. The deep cleaning done today, man. That shit hurts. And as always, I want to say thank you all for watching, commenting, subscribing, and being part of the Joe Boo Sports Report. Without you guys, as well as you ladies, that this literally does not work. Hope everybody's having a great evening. We see Stacy Schubert. What's up? Roland's Review. And Holly Pierce is in the lead right now. She's wrestled the lead away from Jeff Lee. My name is Jeff. Lady Libra in the house. Double dipping on both channels. Appreciate you, Lady Libra. Let's see who else here. Joe's in the house. Vince P's in the house. Byron Pinkerton is in the house. Good evening. How are you doing? Logan Motorsports, what's going on? Dirty Sanchez, I don't understand why they have to do this with our best players. Wait to pay them, but I do get it to a certain extent. I'm glad you get it because I don't get it at all. I really don't get it at all. Let's see. Did I get all the lovely ladies? Alex is in the house. Let's see. Jimbo's in the house. Okay, Dirty Sanchez. Dan the Man. Cunningham. Lady Libra. Did I get Lady Libra? Shout out to Lady Libra. And Jeff Lee, I Love Boobies, is in the house. Well, everybody, I hope everybody's having a great day. It is the weekend. Eddie, what's up in it? Eddie, I want to talk to you. Holly Pierce says, yes, he's trying to be like push back a headline. Stephen, who's trying to be like Stephen A. Smith? Should have heard Drew on Game Time. He hates on Mark for loving Dak, but he loves Hurts so much as Mark supports Dak. You know what? Drew's a freaking idiot. I probably don't say his name 3 times. He might be like Beetlejuice and show up. The crazy thing about Drew is he claims to be a man of God. He's he's heavy in the church. I don't know what church that is, but I can't understand how you can be such a ass and claim to be a man of God. Oh, see, look, just like Beetlejuice, y'all said his name 3 times and he appeared. Drew, and boom, there he is. And Drew, before you get started, let me say hello to Drew.
Shut the fuck up. Shut all the way the fuck up until you reach the top of Shut Fuck Mountain, where there are no more fuck ups to shut.
Let's just get into it early here because, Drew is going to say some stupid shit to get everybody pissed off. So, Drew, just shut the F up, okay? Just shut it up, all right? All right, so here we are. We've got the Mexican standoff. I don't know what a Mexican standoff is. What is a Mexican standoff? I really don't know. But we've got a Dallas Cowboys standoff. Jerry Wayne Jones and Stephen Jones versus Micah Parsons and David Magenta. And I don't know why we do this stuff, but here's what I do know. Don't forget a sweater for Mount. Shut the fuck up. I like that, Holly. That's great. I love that one. But here's what I know. It is now the hold your breath next 5 weeks until June 20th when the media starts reporting to Oxnard. There's no real news. We got Aaron Rodgers who's crying like a little biatch because he can't have his helmet that he likes to wear. Oh, he can't have his helmet. And, of course, he's already trying to dictate who needs to be on the roster, even though he just got his ass there this week. We got that to talk about, but nobody really cares. Nobody really cares. Then there's Antonio Brown, wanted by the Popo. Oh, shit! Who really is riding down the street with his window down saying, F the Popo, F the Popo, at least in social media, because he's on social media basically riding a bike, posting pictures of a guy who he says, that's the guy you really want right there, and also saying, what doesn't kill you makes you stronger, and if you come after me, you in trouble. Okay, so that's where we are as far as news out there. So when we have Dak Prescott, Micah Parsons, and the Dallas Cowboys, they help everybody get fed over the next 5 weeks. Let's be clear here. There's nothing really going on except Dallas Cowboys bashing. Dak Prescott says, when asked, because here's where you can get leading questions. Primetime Phil in house, Philly D, they did a great job busting mine in that episode. What did I miss, man? Life's been crazy, man. I had the dentist, hygienist all up in my mouth there, just digging and scraping and digging in there. In my mouth. And then all the shots of Novocaine. I think the shots of Novocaine are the worst thing. I've done the deep cleaning before where I told them, I said, listen, just skip the Novocaine. They're like, you can't. I said, just do it. And it wasn't that bad. It seriously, I'm like, do I get a discount? No. The Novocaine's included, but you didn't use it. It's still included. Loyal Cowboy in the house. So I've got this side of my mouth done. Now I got to go in 2 weeks to get the other side done. But I'm kind of like, I don't want Novocaine. Be that as may. Dennis getting sawdust off your teeth. Yeah, well, I got something off of it. But at least they didn't say, oh, you need a crown, because that's usually what happens. Every time I go in, it's like, my teeth weren't hurt until I came in here, you jackasses. Anyway, be that as it may. The Cowboys moved the needle in the offseason, because what else is there? Now, Dak Prescott gets asked about his legacy, and basically he says, you know what? Legacy will take care of itself. I want to win a championship. And all hell breaks loose. Literally, sitting here listening to the idiots out there, I listen to the facility, and they're like, championship? Why are you talking about championship? You might want to get like 2 playoff wins in one season. And it's just like, bro, if he had said, I just want to make the playoffs, he would have said, damn, you ain't got any goals? That's as far as you want to go? Is that? No. He's talking, and the thing that's really crazy is listening to Eagle fans and people saying, Dak Prescott, he got no excuses. And I'm kind of like, you were on an ass team, and you still have problems and a brand new coaching staff. And now you got no excuses. Well, what about Lamar Jackson? Lamar Jackson's had some pretty good teams, and he's been MVP twice. He only has one more playoff win than Dak. Wait a minute. Why? Is this something new? I'm seeing all these green colors. Why do we have, like, Holly Pierce, Joe DeMasi, Primetime Phil, your colors are in green? I don't remember y'all being in green before. Why is it green? Chris May is in blue. Roland is in green. I'm sorry, blue. Does anybody know what the green one? I've never seen that before. AB always bitching. There you go. No, I'm sorry. I'm distracted on here because, channel members are blue, as well as with the wrench monitors. But why green? I don't understand green. Green with is it showing up in your chat where people are green? Kid Cowboy, shout out to Kid Cowboy. Mexican standoff. I love it. But I don't understand it. How come the only person out there, wrench modes are blue, but Phil, you're green? Stacy White in the house. What's up, Stacy? How are you doing? Loyal Cowboy. Okay, so Loyal Cowboy is green. Holly Pierce is green. Primetime Phil, Joe DeMassi's green. I don't understand that. Wrench modes are blue, but what's green? But like Chris May has got a wrench and a channel membership, and he's blue. Mods are different. I think I'm not a mod. I don't know what it is. Maybe it's the longevity of being a channel member. See, like Daniel Camardi, he's blue. He's a monitor as well as a channel member. Dirty Sanchez, he's blue. It's Green Knights. I don't look Loyal Cowboy, he's green. Logan Motorsports, he's just white. I guess. I don't know. Holly Pierce. This is weird. I'm just noticing this. I'm sorry. This is just freaking me out at the moment. If somebody knows why it is, mods are always green. No, but Holly. Chris May is blue, and he's a mod and a channel member. I don't know. Hell if I know. If somebody figures it out, put it in the chat. I'm nothing I get. Sorry, Clemente. You're just regular white letters. I'm sorry. White means they don't pay green money. Channel members, blue means monitors. I don't know. That's green equals channel members. Blue is mods. Mark, are you coming down with some shit that Dennis gave me? Dennis who? I've never heard of Dennis. All right. I guess I'll figure it out later. Okay. So Dak kind of goes through and he says, hey, I want to win championships, which I think you should always be shooting for the very top. And I'm be honest with you. I know Drew. Did Drew run away? Because we kind of bitch slapped him. But Mark, I believe you're coming down from that stuff. It might be. You know what? They gave me a lot of shots. I mean, like, how many shots are you going to give me? You might be right. I might be coming down with this stuff. But shout out to Dirty Sanchez. So that just got paid. Tim Hargrave, what's up, man? Okay. Marcus High. I know my mouth hurts. It's definitely sore. All right. So Dak says, hey, I want to win championships. Everybody laughs at him. Oh, that guy wants to win championships. Oh. I'm sitting here. I keep thinking about people who they thought were going to be great. Trevor Lawrence. Trevor Lawrence is getting $55 million a year, right? Wasn't Trevor Lawrence injured last year and didn't do jack? Trevor Lawrence 1-1 in the playoffs? Wasn't Trevor Lawrence the number one pick in the draft? How come nobody says shit about that guy? How about Kyler Murray? Didn't they say Kyler Murray was better than Dak Prescott and that he was going to be? Has he ever played in the playoffs? Okay, nothing wrong with Kyler Murray? Nothing wrong with Kyler Murray. How about Justin Herbert? Justin Herbert, that guy? Wasn't he touted to be like one of the greatest of all times after his second year? What's he doing? I'm just asking for a friend. Daddy Dak, he can't. Hey, Mark, we're talking about Ninja Turtle, no neck, Shady McCoy. Okay, yeah. But for people to go through and say, how dare he talk about championships? And to say, he's under more pressure. I don't know. Is he? Is he really? Yeah, I've heard how much pressure Dak Prescott is under every single year. Oh, my God, he's under pressure. Even Dan Saleo this past week. Well, if they don't make it to the NFC Championship game, you can buy out a contract. Ask yourself this. If the reason the Dallas Cowboys are taking their time to get Micah Parsons' contract done is for publicity, that's the only, what is the reason? If you listen to 105.3 Fan, TJ Watt, they don't think it's going to get more than Myles Garrett. So that really won't change the market. Maybe Trey Hendrickson does. If he does get more, then maybe it's like 41. So worst case with Micah, it's 42, 43. Is the difference between 40 and 43 really that much of a difference? No. So you would say the Cowboys would be trying to do the prudent thing and get it done. But the only thing that makes sense is we like people to talk about us during this dead time. We like people to speculate. Micah Parsons seems to be playing along with it. It may be that they have a wink-wink deal. Hey, Micah. Hey, Micah, here's what we're going to do, Micah. you know I'm good for the money, right? Micah, you are going to be a Dallas Cowboy for your whole career. But here's what we need to do, Micah. We need to put a little bit more edge on this thing. See, if we go ahead and we talk about your contract all off season here, it keeps everybody fed. Not just me, Micah, it's not just me. Okay, because, I got me 2 helicopters. I got me a yacht that's as long as a football field. I've got the Dallas Cowboys. I got the Star. I've got 5 Super Bowl championships trophies in there. I don't need the money. But everybody else does. You see what's happened with ESPN after they paid Pat McAfee and Stephen A. Smith. They going bankrupt there, buddy. They're going bankrupt. So they need something to talk about. So here's what we're going to do, buddy. We're going to get you a 5-year, $200 million contract. That's going to be $40 million a year. Now, you know what? We're going to make it 41. We'll make it $205 million. But here's the thing. We need to just hold up. We need to get all we can. We got to stir this shit up here. Stir this up for a little bit of time here, so we can milk that cow. We're gonna milk that cow here, so that way we can get a little extra butter on the bread here, so to speak, so people can talk about it. Okay, don't get into your feelings now, son. Don't worry about it. You're gonna get your money. It's not like you're hurting. You got your president of Bleacher Report and everything else. You're the Dallas Cowboys darling, so don't worry about it. Just be cool. We're gonna play the games here. We're gonna say, you call me, or tell your guy to call me, or you call. We just gonna play it out, man. We just gonna play it out, because that's how we got to be them Cowboys. And Micah Parsons, he understands it. He understands it because CeeDee Lamb didn't understand the game. So CeeDee Lamb said, man, I ain't showing up. Micah, he understands the game. And he understands that I want to play it, so not only do I get my money, but that I'm also ready to play the game when the season comes. Should be done with Micah and working on Tyler Smith. Now, see, Joe, that would be the prudent thing to do. would be to be working on Tyler Smith because we're talking about another $5 million. Now, it may be salary cap just blows up again. Next year, another $25 million, in which case it's really not that much money difference-wise. But I think that's what's going on. That's the only thing that makes sense. Now, back to Dak Prescott, same thing. Everybody lives and dies by anything that happens with Dak Prescott. Was Dak Prescott the only quarterback that was injured last year that's coming back? I don't think he was. Is Dak Prescott the only team to not go win the Super Bowl? I don't think he was. But if you were coming from Mars and just fell to Earth and you just started watching sports shows, you would say, my God, that guy, Dak Prescott, he is the worst guy in the world. Why does he have a job? Are they doing it for charity? This guy, he can't win big ones. He's the only one that's got these problems. He just fails in the playoffs. Damn, he sucks. They should go out and get anybody out there. Right? So, case in point. Here we go.
On this program about quarterbacks under pressure. You keep saying to me, Chris,
I like
these quarterbacks are under pressure.
They are.
If Lamar doesn't win one, he's going to be, sure, all these MVPs, but he doesn't want to wake up in the morning and turn on his television and hear that he sucks. Josh Allen. I mean, he's got all the pressure in the world on him because he can't get past Kansas City. Forget the fact that he's generationally enriched and happily married and everything's pointing up. Like, seriously, when he woke up this morning, do you think he's like, man, I'm under pressure, or life is amazing? All right. Now, but your point is like, hey, week one, though, here we go.
Here we go.
First, and the reason why I mentioned these two quarterbacks, not just because they're the last two most valuable players of the National Football League and were 1 and 2 in the finishing of this year's awards, and that's even counting the fact that they didn't count Tony Dungy's vote. Did you read that one over the last couple of weeks? Yeah, they counted someone else's vote twice instead of his once by accident. I mean, the Associated Press usually is loose with facts. Oh, wait a minute. I'm told they're not. Listen, my point is this. I bring these two guys up because they face each other week one Sunday Night Football.
Yeah, let's go.
The pressure will be on.
It will be on.
Right off the bat. But I keep saying, no. Pressure is most on the line when your job is on the line, or your ability to continue doing your job could be on the line, or the way you do your job puts other people's jobs on the line. Now that is pressure. So why would Dak be in that department? Guy's making $60 million a year, right? Didn't his a lovely bride post photographs of their latest child?
Yeah, recently.
Okay. Or is it his first? I don't know. Second, right. Happy Father's Day to you, Dak. And, Brian Schottenheimer is new to the gig. What, are they going to one and done him? Don't answer that question.
Yeah. I believe.
No, the pressure. The man who once upon a time said pressure. It's pressure. Pressure just makes diamonds, right? Remember that? Dak was the guy who said pressure makes diamonds.
That's how you get them.
I like it. This is what he had to say about winning a championship, which, as you know,
here we go.
Dallas has been in search for quite some time.
Yeah.
Hit it.
Yeah, I want to win a championship. The legacy, the things, whatever comes after I finish playing will take care of itself. I want to win a championship. Be damned if it's just for my legacy or it's for this team, for my personal being, for my sanity. Yeah, the legacy will take care of itself. I have to stay where my feet are.
For his sanity.
Ooh, baby.
His sanity.
Yeah.
And yours too, I imagine.
Well, the thing is, this is why I hate sound clips, because they cut it off right before he said in TJ, and I wanted to win it for him too. But they cut that off, so yeah.
Editing.
Yeah.
But
for
that's
his
Joe
sanity
and mine.
and yours.
And mine.
You know?
For that piece of paper I refuse to sign.
Well, because you won't sign that piece of paper because you do believe they have a shot at the title this year.
Do I?
Well, I mean, again,
Yeah, I do. Look,
listen, you've
everyone
got to
should.
believe that if you are a fan and for your own sanity, because I imagine this is the sort of stuff that would make one go insane right here on the screen. That'll make you go nuts. You know, somebody sends you all these balloons and flowers when your team does not perform well against the team that eventually does go on to win the Super Bowl.
I was wondering what you were whispering to Hoskins about a second ago, and I was like, hey, put the picture up.
I was just thinking about it and just put the picture up.
Hey, feller, not you too, bro. Hey, too, Jason.
Poor
Hey,
TJ.
But you have to believe they've got a shot at the title this year.
I think if you're a fan, you have to, going into every year, believe that you have.
And just take a look at the Indiana Pacers right now. Coming into the season, no one's like, that's the team. That's the team that's come out of the Eastern Conference. That's the team that's going to catch fire. That's the team that's going to win damn near 60 games after
They started slow.
the season, after the calendar turns. Won 47 regular season games in 2025, and you could see they are now 2 wins shy of the title here, which means you could plus them up 14 in that win department. Thus, 61 wins in 2025. Nobody had that for the Indiana Pacers. Why not the Dallas Cowboys? Why can't Dak be the Halliburton? Why can't CeeDee Lamb
Here we go.
be the Siakam? Right?
Yeah.
Honestly, why can't George Pickens be the Benedict Mathurin of the equation here, even though he doesn't come off the bench? Seriously, why can't...
Here we go. Okay. In case you're new, in case you literally came from Mars and just landed here, there is a cycle to the Dallas Cowboys. Cowboys season ends. They are the worst team in football. We find all kinds of reasons why Dak Prescott sucks, Jerry Jones and Stephen Jones are failures, and how they don't care about football and how they need to get a real GM. Right? We get beat down on that. Then free agency happens, and the team lets go a lot of their players and don't replace them. And we get told the Dallas Cowboys are terrible. They don't care about winning. They are not trying to improve the team. They stink. Right? Then we go through the draft. The draft, they'll say, no, they didn't do anything exciting. Right? Thomas Garrett, how you doing? They didn't do anything exciting. They stink. But by training camp, after saying we're the worst team in the world, we're the worst run organization, your quarterback is a bum who's on the hot seat, all of a sudden, you just heard it. You just got the pivot from Rich Eisen. Why not a championship? Dinglehead, they got a whole new coaching staff, a whole new one. They're rebuilding the organization here. Okay? Yes, we got a couple of good players. But unfortunately, the two biggest problems that the Dallas Cowboys have had when it comes to playoffs have been stopping the run and the ability to run the football. And I'm not going to say that we've solved those problems yet. I don't see that we have solved those problems yet. Maybe they end up playing better than we think. But I look at it and say, we're going to be a great edge rushing team. We're going to be able to get to the quarterback. But it has yet to be proven if we can stop the run. Which, if you understand football, when it comes playoff time, you must do. You must do. And you have to run the football. And as much as people go through and say, well, Dak Prescott, in the 5 losses that he's had, he's had 11 TDs and 6 interceptions. Take a look at how many yards we had running, too, when he was doing that. I don't think we had more than 75 yards in either of those two games against San Francisco. And Dak Prescott was like a third of those. Take a look at San Francisco, the first one, where we gave up 176 yards on the ground. Now, you can go through and say, well, Dak Prescott, man, he's not a winner. He's not a playoff quarterback. I'm going to say the Cowboys aren't a playoff team. Take a look at the stats from Micah Parsons. His 4 playoff games. One sack. Take a look at D-Law stat lines from playoffs. Take a look at Zeke Elliott minus the first one against Aaron Rodgers. The whole team's got to play better. And to all of a sudden now say the Cowboys, there's pressure on the Cowboys. Well, there's always pressure on everybody. He got his bag anyway, his money. He scored 12 points in the San Francisco game, only 12. Brad? And how did anybody else do? How'd the running game do? Did he have a running game? Just saying. How's Lamar done in the playoffs? Seriously. I get it. It's easy to look at the quarterback and say, he sucks. We need to get somebody else. But let me ask you, who you getting? Who you getting? Are you looking at anybody from this year's draft to say that would have been a better situation than what we got right now? Any of those guys drafted, you look at them and say, oh, man, damn, if we only had those guys. I remember Tank for Trevor. I remember Tank for Tua. Do you think those two guys are getting us any further than we're going right now? He couldn't score 20. And Brad, you're going against the number one defense in the NFL with a beat-up offensive line and no running game and one weapon. Philly D, when in the last 3 times have contenders in 3 divisions and Giants mighty have the best front 7 is the worst team. Going to be a great year. Yeah, the Giants' defense is going to be doing some damage. Their offense is going to be doing some damage to them. They're going to be okay. I actually think the Commanders are going back to being the Commanders. There's a lot of problems for them. One, we still don't know. Noah Brown carted off, which is not a good thing. I have not heard what the injury was or the severity of it, but it's definitely not good for them. Sounds like it's a knee. Deebo Samuels looks like he's a fat bastard. Get in my belly. I'm serious. Deebo looked like Mark Holmes out there. He looked like he should be playing linebacker. And word is that the DC Council is dragging their feet because they want a better deal. They want a better deal, and it may upend the stadium going to Washington, D.C., which is what happened to Jack Can't Cook. I think the Commanders might be in trouble. I don't see Momo in here. Let's try it. Let's see if we can do a Drew. Say Momo, and see if he appears. But the Commanders are having some problems. Oh, and then there's Scary Terry, who's pissed because, like Micah Parsons, has not gotten a new contract. Now, here's the funniest thing out here. How is it that Micah Parsons not getting a new contract is the only one they talk about, and he's the only one that showed up. Trey Henderson, he didn't show up. Scary Terry, he didn't show up. Ain't nobody talking about them. Momo sleeping. Randy will be great. Will be a great win, but at the end of the day, week 1 the NFL means nothing. Leo's in the house. Oh, Lordy. Okay. Leo, who's written some checks. How you doing tonight, Leo? We missed you last week, bro. What's good? Went to the dentist today, had a deep cleaning, and my mouth is kind of killing me at the moment. Other than that, getting foot put in my ass and told how stupid I am. But other than that, I'm great. Because it's Dallas, that's why. There you go. It's because it's the Cowboys. You're right. You're right. It comes with being America's team. Sometimes I wish we could just be a regular team. Because you said it. He's a Cowboy. Holly Pierce. Uh-oh, Holly. Did Jeff Lee take the lead from you, Holly? What's the special at Pink's today? Send you a link. What? Leo, you act like you special or something. Oh, my God, Leo's here. Let me send him a link. What the fuck are you talking about, Leo? Send you a link? We'll send you a link from Pink's. How about that? Hold on. Yep, it's that old double standard. But watch. Trevor Lawrence, he won't go to the playoffs, right? You know, his team will be ass. Nobody will talk about it. You'll have Lamar Jackson, great regular season statistics, and not get to the Super Bowl. Okay. And then you'll have Josh Allen. Josh Allen, you know, not making the Super Bowl. And it's okay. Right? But if Dak Prescott doesn't, he's a bum. There we go. All right. Why am I going to do this to myself? There you go, Leo. AFC competition is tougher. Lady Libra's got it. Uh-oh. Lady Libra's got the crown right now. Dirty Sanchez not going to be front. You're high. Oh, Lordy. Leo says he's extremely high. Is Michael Anthony Fitz going to be home for the stream against the Shingles for September 4th? I guess. I don't know. He's a grown-ass man. Dak got to get the glitters out when the lights are on. 30 years, wash, rinse, repeat. Cowboys don't have a backup. Joe Milton is looking pretty good, actually. I tell you what, he can throw the ball 80 yards. Mike's podcast, I have played fantasy football, but I don't believe in it. I really don't believe in fantasy football. I believe fantasy football has kind of ruined real football. Mark's chewing gummies. No, not if this teeth cleaning. What happened when Tyler is injured or Micah? Well, there you go. Puff, puff, pass, Leo. Jimbo, I don't watch basketball, man. The Cowboys are a full-time job. I can't keep up with them, much less keep up with basketball. So, Leo, you asked for this link. It's up. Come on, man. Because we're going to be getting out of here soon. But no, I'm not much into basketball anymore. I just don't have time. If you're worried about a backup quarter, you're already screwed. You're only as good as the worst player on each position. Okay. Commanders football. Y'all know the song Tony, Tony, Tone. It feels good. Tyler, Tyler, Tyler. Well, see, I got my Tyler, Tyler, and Tyler, the law firm of Tyler, Tyler, and Tyler. We don't chase ambulances. We fill them. We need a cooking video soon. Haven't had time to be able to sit down and do that. Who makes my favorite pizza? It used to be 4-star pizza, but at home, Saratoga pizza is my favorite right now. And if I go to Detroit, in Greektown, there's a place that's got Detroit deep dish. Oh, right across from Greektown Casino. It's really good. I was going to click the link, but I got high. Come on, Leo. I've taken time out here to get this for you. I sent you a video link and not as, oh, okay, hold up. Maybe I'm high. Let me try it again, Leo. Are you sure I sent you a video link? Here we go. Leo, I sent you. Leo, you really are high, bro. I sent you the right link, Leo. You're a liar, buddy. Come on, man. You should put stock in pinks, Leo says. Come on, Leo. You got 1 minute. Oh, shit. I was going to say it. We're going to cancel it. Here we go. Unmute your mic.
No, Mark.
What do you want?
You sent me a Rich Eisen video. I was like, what? I think you might have copy and pasted the wrong thing.
You're just really high tonight, aren't you?
No, I'm dead. Mark, I'm dead serious.
Okay. I hear you. So what did you want? What do you want? What do you want?
Well, first off, thanks for having me on. Hey, everybody. But I wanted to say, it's interesting. This is that same time period, Mark, from last summer when you said watch Leo in the next week or two, they're going to be talking about the Super Bowl. Remember?
Oh, I told you.
I told you, yeah. And I was like, yeah, all right, whatever. And then
no, this is what it is.
Holy shit! He's right. They did.
How do you put on? Oh, Dak Prescott's not. He's got no excuses. Wait a minute. Don't we have didn't you guys just kill us because they said we didn't get one of the hot coordinators that this guy's been coaching for 20-some years and never been a head coach, that he just fell off the salad truck? Now it's, you've got an idiot coach. Didn't you just bring in a cancer to the locker room, right?
Wait a minute. Are you talking about, is that what they're saying about you guys?
That's what they said about Schottenheimer when they hired him. They killed him about everybody laughed about Schottenheimer being hired, right? Dak Prescott, he's a bum and everything else. Now you're saying, championship team. Wait a minute. With a rookie coach, all new staff.
Right.
And bringing in all of these new players. You brought in about 25 new players.
Right.
How is that?
Right. I absolutely look. Here's the thing. Remember, Dracula did it his rookie year. You see what I'm saying? He took him to the Super Bowl.
Okay, but
especially when you're looking at the NFC East and it's the Cowboys.
But you also But you also had a team that was still kind of there from a Super Bowl team.
Correct.
A few years before. The one that Doug Peterson had built.
Yeah. Yep.
Okay, so it wasn't that, and you have a GM who was actually trying to win. Okay, you know, I just go back and look at some of the press conferences from last year, listening to Jerry and Stephen Jones about, you know, when you got these players, you got to pay. You know, you got to let, you know, other guys go, and it's kind of like,
well,
we got two guys at $20 million. You guys got 6.
This is where
Walker Wade.
Here's the part this is the part about when I evaluate the Dallas Cowboys and the season and everything like that. I think everything that you guys have spotted so far is true. There's a lot of differences. I said it's notable the different things I see. I mean, there's some things like, I remember the last time I said this, I was like, has Jerry landed on the practice field? No, but he did the next thing, which is he showed up and then pulled Micah off to the side in front of everybody and had a long ass conversation. What they were talking about, who knows? But the fact of the matter is, you and I both know from an imaging standpoint, that's saying something.
You know what it's saying? See, here's where I look at it. They've got a deal together, and Micah understands playing the game. You look at Scary Terry. You look at Trey Henderson. Okay, other guys that are like, you know, bitch, pay me my money. Micah knows he's getting his contract. Micah's showing up. This is just drama because that's what the Cowboys do. Okay, but Micah admits, you know, he's got his reservations for a place for his family and everything else to be in Oxnard. He's going to be there. If worst case is he's holding in practice, but he will be there.
Yeah.
And it's not like he's the first player to ever not get their contract when they should.
You know what, Mark? I'll say this: it's smart for Micah to do things the way that he's doing, because
I agree.
At the very least, he's not gonna look like the bad guy here, because he's done everything that one in his position should be doing, if not more.
In my mind,
now
he has done everything
right,
perfect. He has given everything.
Now, here's the thing with that. Plus, you look at the way your coaches, you know, and the way you guys are, I guess that's the way y'all bond, Greek dancing and all that stuff. Cool. If that's what y'all got to do, then that's what y'all got to do. That's some new shit. Never heard of it with the Dallas Cowboys, but okay. You know what I'm saying? You got to do what you got to do. But the part that I also have to consider when evaluating you is the self-inflicted wounds, such as paying more than what you need to be paying for a player that you know needs to be signed. Like, come on, like this, and the way that Palpatine is going about it. You know what I'm saying? It looks
you're
like
preaching to the choir, because here's the thing: when you think about if they had just signed Micah when the season, and it takes two to dance. And Micah and his agent, of course, want to get the best deal because, you know, you could be like Antonio Brown in, 10 years.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? You could be crazy.
That's fair.
Okay.
That's fair.
Or you could be dead broke. So you want to get as much money as you can from the teams that you can.
That's fair. It's business.
For David Magenta, you know, if I settle for a cheap contract, the players ain't calling me. So my job is to get the best deal for him and for me, because I'm getting my commission off of it, percentage. But if the Cowboys had gone through and said, look, we're going to get you $37 million right now and get this thing done, they don't have the publicity of it, but they also have an additional $3 or $4 million. And when you think that we've got George Pickens for $3.5 million, you're talking about additional player.
Mm-hmm.
You know, that's what you're talking about when you end up doing this. They should be working on Tyler Smith's contract right now, not Micah's.
Well, right now, let me ask you something, because like what's interesting is I think where the difference is, in particular for us, is there's a particular type of peace of mind that we are enjoying right now.
Well,
you know what I'm saying?
You have a different philosophy. You
right.
have
and that's what I was about to say.
Contract so far down the road, you're not worried about 4 years from now.
Going into training camp at this time in time.
You're only worried about who do I have on the field today.
Right. And we're returning, and what's interesting is On the offense, we're returning 10 out of the 11 starters we had last year.
Mm-hmm.
On the defense, we're returning 7 of our starters.
Mm-hmm.
So we only lost like 4 starters off the defense last year. Now, when you think about when you add in the fact that you have, and you and I talked about this last weekend. You know what I'm saying? When you look at, you guys made double-digit draft picks like we did this year, and you have double-digit draft picks coming next year. So the evaluation process and the vetting of these players, where you can get a number of contributors in rookie contracts.
Oh yeah,
you know
that's where it's key.
Right, and that's where we're like, I feel like we're like riding that sweet spot. You know what I'm saying?
Well, here's the problem for us is when you look back, when you got Diggs, who was was great until he got injured and paid. You got Micah, you got CD, but after that, and Tyler Smith. After that, when you got Mozzie, when you ended up getting Tyler Guyton, when you ended up getting guys like Boss Man Fat, who of course has just run over somebody, and Mozzie, you didn't get that punch of your upper draft picks that you need to get to keep refilling the roster. And that's been part of the problem for him, right now. Schoonmaker, at the moment, he might be the third tight end right now. Because Brent Stanford is playing actually better than him in training camp. And you can't get your second-round picks. You can't keep missing on them.
That I was about to say, but isn't that y'all Achilles? That's your Achilles.
Oh, my God.
The second-round picks, right?
You can look at it and say the second-round picks that the Cowboys have had that have worked out have been Sean Lee, DeMarcus Lawrence, and Diggs. Okay. And right now, Diggs is a question mark because Diggs doesn't seem to want to put in the work to get recovered from injury.
Wait a minute, those are your best second-round picks?
Those are the best second-round picks.
Wow.
In the last 15 years.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying.
You've got guys like, Jalen Smith, who was good for 1 year. That Jalen Smith would be up there and saying, okay, yeah, he was pretty good. But it was only for 1 year. But when you start thinking about Boss Man Fat, you think about Sam Williams, who we had hoped for last year.
Right.
When you think about Tristan Hill, defensive tackle, he was a problem coming out of college. They said he had attitude problems and didn't want to practice and things like that out of Florida.
And that turned out to be true.
Yeah, so you start going down the line, and it's like your second-round pick should be a high-quality starter on your roster. Now, on the reverse of this is the Cowboys hit on first-round picks better than just about anybody else.
Well, okay, so then answer me this then. Because to be honest with
Marshawn Nealon, right. Nealon was last year, and we'll see what we have out of him. Marshawn Nealon and, of course, Donovan EZ. Let's hope that those guys and Sam Williams.
I was just watching some film on him, on Easy, Donovan Easy. God damn.
He's looking good in training camp. He can really bend the edge.
Really? Yeah. Damn. My thought process is, with you guys and the Giants, I believe that the pass rush is going to be significantly better than what it was last year.
And last year's pass rush was pretty good. Our problem was
you're also set up to real quick before I even say this part, what I really wanted to say was I think that you guys screwed the pooch during the Dak rookie contract years.
Well, they did.
With being able to extract more out of, from a salary cap perspective. Like we milked the shit out of that Jalen Hurts rookie contract if you think about it in terms of what we got.
Here's how bad it was, though. $680,000 the first 3 years.
Total or each year?
Each year. 680.
That's nothing though.
He was less than the backup quarterback.
Damn.
Okay. His fourth year, when they should have gotten
y'all got that
contract,
for 3 years.
This fourth year, they got for $2 million.
Yeah.
And then they fucked around and ended up franchise tagging him after that.
Wasn't it his fifth year or
fifth year? They franchise tagged him,
and that was the year he broke his leg, right?
No,
his ankle.
No, that was. No, yeah, actually it was.
Yeah, that was because it was a contract year. It was a contract year.
No, he broke it. He broke it before he got the
contract.
That's
what I'm saying.
Before he got the contract.
Yeah.
Yes. But see, they should have paid him after year 3 because then they would have had that fourth year that they could have actually hit the contract. Instead, they ended up because they could have signed him for about $29 million when Kirk Cousins had gone to Minnesota. Instead, they ended up franchise tagging him. He was like 32 or 33 million. And, then they had to pay the big contract after that. So, yeah, they screwed the pooch on his contracts.
Which is why I think that there's a very strong possibility if they don't like in Philadelphia, this should be the year that they try to get something done with Jordan Davis because next year Jalen Carter's Jalen Carter's actually eligible for a contract this year.
After this year.
Yeah,
this
after
third
this
year.
Yeah.
So
this will be I'm sorry, you're right. So this will be the year you try to get Jordan Davis sold up if you can. If you can't, you've already exercised that 5th year option on his contract. You let it ride out for another year. Get Jalen Carter sold up, and then you might see a situation where Jordan Davis would do a Javon Hargrave and a Milton Williams.
Yeah.
And go get it back somewhere else. You know what I'm saying? Mm-hmm. But when you think about the number of draft picks that we'll have, especially that'll be going into those, they'll still be working on their rookie contracts this year.
I'm not here to praise the Eagles tonight, man.
No, Mark, it's the same thing. It's almost like y'all done caught up. Y'all had the potential to catch up.
Here's what I will say about the Cowboys situation. The Cowboys have had a really good offseason. Now, there's no guarantee that any of the moves that you've made will pan out, okay? When you talked about last year, you like having activity. The Cowboys have had activity in trying to fill holes. The places I worry about right now, even though Diggs says he's shooting for week 1, is still the secondary because we're basically counting on Savon Ravel, Diggs coming back at some point to end up helping us fill in, or a disappointment in Elam coming from Buffalo right now. So, that's a big worry for me. And I will say I'm not sure that we address the 2 biggest playoff problems that we have. Stopping the run and really being able to run the football. I don't know what Miles Sanders has left. I don't know what Javonte Williams has left. I mean, or what we'll have coming back really 2 years from a knee surgery or a second ACL injury. You know what I mean? So there's still a lot of question marks, and you still have all new rookie coaches. So for them to go out and say, oh, man, championships, and, even my man Walker Wade, shout out for the super chat where Dak's got no excuses. I don't know how you can look at a team. People will go through. Okay, just think about this for a second. Okay, let me try and construct this the right way.
And mind you preferenced everything with everyone's the first year head coach, first year.
It's Pickens first year. And I think they'll do well, but I'm not putting out the expectation to say, oh, we got a Super Bowl team. You can't say that when you literally just got this. But people will say, well, Dak sucked last year, before he got injured. But here's what he ended up having. Your number 1 wide receiver, you didn't sign and get to training camp.
Right.
He's there 2 weeks before the season started. Yep. Your number 2 wide receiver had an infection in his knee and didn't start the season. You had Tyler Guyton and Cooper Beebe, 2 rookies on your offensive line. You had Jake Ferguson hurt his knee the first game and then get a concussion the third game. You had no running game. You weren't averaging more than 65 yards on the ground through the first 7 games. And all you hear was, well, Dak sucked. How are you going to play with that kind of scenario?
Well, okay. The issue that I have is I think what you're asking us to look at a smaller sample size than what everyone else is actually looking at. I think everyone is looking at 10 years. That's what they're saying.
10 years.
If you no wait, think for a hot second, Mark. If you listen to everybody's argument about everybody's beef with Dak Prescott today, that beef is made up of elements from different seasons culminating in 10 years. If you think about what everyone's issue is, anyone who says they have a beef
you'll cherry pick one play or one game.
Everyone's issue happens to and I'll be honest with you. You know what I'm saying? I get how that could be. I said to you last year, you know what I'm saying? It felt like it took you guys longer to come back than it did for you guys to come back this year.
Oh yeah.
And I understand
because now
you guys
got some excitement that's out there. Okay,
absolutely.
When you just kept seeing last year people going out the door on a disappointment season. Okay. You see Tyler Smith go out. You see Tyler Biotis go out. You see Dante Fowler go out. You see Dorrance Armstrong go out.
Absolutely.
You see Leighton Vander Esch go out. You see Tony Pollard go out. How you get excited about losing all this stuff and you don't see anything coming back in? That's like you're sitting here and your girlfriend is taking all her shit out the house, okay? And you ain't got another girl. You gonna be excited?
Well, Mark, here's the thing. You were relentless, but that's okay because I remember I kept saying
JJH, go to hell, man. Okay, go to hell.
I remember you and I going back and forth about the fact that me saying because you would throw out you guys lost 6 out of the last 7 games last year. At that time, that's how you were talking, and crucifying us over that. And I remember telling you, Mark, I don't care. Whenever something like that happens, it's not like we were devoid of talent. It's not like, it was talent. Like major injuries. Something happened, and I still feel like we're still not far enough removed from that season to find out what the something was. And I think it was something deep. I don't know what, but I think it was something deep. Just because of the way people started talking. I remember I said to you, Mark, I'm not bringing this up no more because when certain people talk, you just know to just, okay. And Lane Johnson was the one who was like, we're not talking about that no more. That's over.
Well, again, you had a much better roster than what we had last year. And on top of it, here's where everything filtered from the top down. Because when Jerry Jones basically said, we're going all in, and then didn't support the coaching staff, everybody's on a 1-year deal. You don't go into a season with people on 1-year deals. You undermine the coaching staff because people look and say, well, that guy ain't going to be here. So shit, I'm going to make sure I take care of me. And then you don't do anything to help the guy out and basically say it's Super Bowl or bust. So you had a pale that's over the whole organization. And that's where guys are like excited right now, for Brian Schottenheimer, that Brian Schottenheimer is trying to be one of those guys. I know you're making fun of the whole Greek dancing thing and all that. It's not that I'm making fun of it. It's just whatever y'all need to do. I remember saying to you, Mark, I don't care if it works or if it don't work. I need to see some kind of activity. Whenever you have a catastrophic failure, such as the one you was crucifying us for, I want to see activity. Well, we got that this year.
Right, and that's what I'm saying. We don't know, and I remember saying at that time, I don't know if this is going to work. I don't know if it ain't going to work. But I need to see something happening. I need to see some heads rolling. I need to see accountability. God damn it, you know what I'm saying? Because you got a Ferrari. How did you fuck this up? You know what I'm saying? And Jeffrey Lurie, and I remember telling you, when Jeffrey Lurie says he's coming downstairs and y'all better have a plan, I get how you guys might be desensitized to Jerry Jones, but Jeffrey Lurie, come on, Mark, even you got to admit, you never really hear Jeffrey Lurie say anything. So for him to say something, it's like, oh shit, that ain't good.
You're not hearing much of now? It's Jerry Jones.
Jerry, again, which leads to the whole noted It's notable. You're right. That's why. And that's why I asked you. Did he land a helicopter on the
Nope.
practice field yet?
Nope, he did not.
No. And Loyal was like, nope. You know what I'm saying? So, okay. You still got, again, activity, things noted, a little bit different. I get why you guys, but I cannot begin to, at this time, I can't begin to empathize with that because I'm returning 10 starters on offense. I'm returning 7 starters on defense. The only stability that I actually have is where I have my greatest losses at, which is on defense. This will be the first time since Jim Schwartz that we'll have a 2-year defensive coordinator. But
Okay, all right.
you know what I'm saying?
Enough praising of the Eagles right now. Okay,
No,
we
it's
got
just
about
being
82
aware.
days.
No, Mark, it's not stop. It's not praising. It's me saying, hey, I'm fully aware of where we are as a team, and I'm also showing you that I'm fully aware of where you are. There's some stark differences here. Does it mean that it's no? I enjoy a different type of peace of mind than you do, and the thing is, here's where and just pointing out, which you agree, is that some of the things that you also have to consider is, goddamn, Jerry, are you really going you gonna wait till T.J. Watt and him get paid before you pay this dude?
I don't think TJ's gonna get more than Myles Garrett at this point.
But I'm just saying,
because he's getting older.
You know what I'm saying? Who else have you guys signed? You know what I'm saying? How many of the best available free agents are available are still out there? Because don't y'all got money now?
We've got 32 right now, and you've got probably about another 10 coming with Micah. But see, we kind of screwed the pooch because, say next year. I mean, right now we've got Zach Martin. We're taking $29 million in dead money this year.
Because he retired.
Almost 9 this year for Zach, and 16 next year for Zach Martin. Yeah. So you have to look at those from a standpoint where, we got, roughly say $40 million, and if you do Micah, you can flip a trigger next year and get some more cash. But you are going to have Tyler Smith that you're going to have to pay next year too. So it's like every year
money hit.
Yeah, and so you're going to have.
Would you carry over?
Yeah, you can carry over money, which is what they're going to probably end up doing.
To account for the dead money hits they're going to take against the cap.
But there's things you can do if you want to do them. That's
like what we did. We restructured some money, made them sign in bonuses and stuff like that. So it was like trade a little bit of front end money for back end money.
Right.
It's all structures, and what I'm saying, and that's what I'm saying. Like, if that's the case, then if it's about structure and everything like that, or guarantees at that too, you know what I'm saying? Like, the longer this takes, the more you're gonna end up paying. And Micah knows it now.
Yeah, he knows he's going to get paid. This
exactly
is the same thing. Okay, so if I look at the Cowboys in 26, there's things. For example, Dak Prescott's number is $74 million. You can flip the trigger on that and restructure it again. Mm-hmm. In which case, you can save 30 of that. So you could get him actually down to 44. So you could grab $30 million from him. You could grab $19 million from CD. If Diggs is still on the roster, you can get $8 million there. You can grab $12 million from Osa and Digazua and stuff. So there's things that you can do on those. And if you sign Micah Parsons, you can restructure his as well. So, yeah, you are kind of in cap problems.
Yeah,
and you already have $16.5 million in cap and dead money next year for Zach Martin.
So wouldn't this mean that you better do what you can because George Pickens might be a 1-year wonder?
You're gonna need to do something now. That's again,
what I'm saying.
Now here's another one where next year that they have some room. Now Tyler Smith is a $21 million hit right now because it's a 5th-year option.
Mm-hmm.
If they get him a long-term deal, then you're going to drop that probably to about 10, 11. So, there's areas where they'll be able to get money if they want to, but they'll have to do similar to what the Eagles did, which is, kick some of that stuff down the road. The thing with Dak Prescott. Yeah, we can grab $30 million off Dak and put that down the road, but that's a ticking time bomb that he may not be in the NFL, and we're paying that.
Right, I was going to say, but then what happens if you make him a post-1 cut?
What, next year?
Yeah. Yeah, because again, a lot of his contract is guaranteed. But if you make him a
post June 1st cut next year, it's the same price as him being here.
Oh, right.
It's $74 million. Now, 27, you can do it and get away with $23 million.
Okay, so all right, that's what I was looking for. What's the bump?
Yeah, you basically you got it out in 2 more years.
Ooh, he did it. Oh, with no trade.
With a no trade clause.
Got him, coach. He got him again. He got him again. It doesn't matter. Y'all stuck with this dude for the next 2 years.
Stuck. There's worse guys that can be stuck with.
Absolutely, but
and see, this is the thing that it sits here that Dak, move on from Dak. Dak's a bump. Who you getting? Do you look at anybody right now from this year's draft and say, man, if we just had that guy, we're going to the Super Bowl?
No. But let me ask you something. You know what I'm saying? Because you guys got Joe Milton, right?
Yeah.
Is he? You might want to start looking at him, or even.
Of course, you're going to start trying to look at him, but
the succession plan needs to start.
He's got a lot of developing that has to go through.
Again, but at least a succession plan needs to begin, Mark. It doesn't matter.
I agree with you on that.
I'm not wishing bad on him. But I'm not saying I want him to be hurt or anything like that. But what I am saying is that we're going on year 10. This dude is coming off of a torn thing off the bone on his hamstring. You know what I'm saying? And y'all better start thinking about a succession plan.
Oh, I agree
at
with
this
that.
point.
Yes, I agree.
You know what I'm saying? So if it's not Joe Milton, at least be deliberate about the shit. That's all I'm saying. You asked me at the beginning of last year about Lane Johnson, because I had said something about the fact that it seemed like to me this year was a smooth transition from Jason Kelce. A lot of people didn't even realize he wasn't even on the team anymore.
Oh, I did.
You know what I'm saying?
With him out on everything, jeez.
Yeah, but
I agree with you on that. But see, here's the thing: you're talking about a succession plan when we're not taking care of the basics yet.
And when
how can we start worrying about saying, "Oh my God, we got to come up with a replacement for Tyron Smith," when we ain't got capable right tackle? Okay, you're still trying to fill in the voids for everything else. So we screwed the pooch so many times and wasted opportunities. Okay. And everybody who says, "Well, Dak,"
you're talking about getting value.
Think
on
about this.
Contracts.
Okay, think about this.
Wait a minute. I just want to be clear. You're talking about player value on rookie contracts when you say screw the pooch, right?
Yeah. Well, that as well as looking and saying, we believe in our own guys.
Right. Yeah. Same thing.
Okay. Okay. Now remember, the Cowboys situation was it 2018 when we brought in Amari Cooper in the middle of the season? Mm-hmm. We went into the season knowing that we didn't have the receiving core, but it's okay. We'll go in there like that. We literally, 3 years ago, we went into starting the season with CeeDee Lamb, Noah Brown, Dennis Houston, and I'm trying to remember who the other, and Jalen Tolbert, his rookie year. Those were our receivers.
No.
Okay, and we literally and here's the thing is we go to training camp and every practice is open. You got my man Law and me and everybody else there. We're there getting Dennis Houston. Dennis Houston had one play in training camp where he elevated in the corner of the end zone at a one-handed grab, and everybody's anointing him as the next Odell Beckham Jr. Okay, you understand what I'm saying?
This is when it was like the defense was like, we ain't taking shit from all 32 teams.
Yeah,
that year. I remember during training camp. Yeah,
but we get a sales job that these guys are great. We get to know them and everything else, and we fall in love with them. and we think that they're top of the line players. In reality, the problem for the Cowboys is you pay so many players at peak money. Dak, Zeke, it'll be Micah Parsons, Tyron Smith, and all that, which is great to have those players. And people will say, well, you've had so many Pro Bowl players. That's not the problem. The problem is when those guys get hurt, when you go from Tyron Smith to Chaz Green.
Your depth.
Yes.
Yes, depth.
Okay?
Yeah.
When you go back and all of a sudden, who's when you had, CeeDee Lamb, Jalen Tolbert, Ryan Fenoy. You've literally got Jerry Jones. That Ryan Fenoy. I can't wait to see him get his first catch. He's got Dez Bryant in him. He ain't got no Dez Bryant in him. These are guys that should be 5th or 6th on the roster. You got them starting games. So that goes back to the Cowboys organization of not getting the players. And, people keep saying, you just make excuses. I'm sorry. But when we have to go out and get, a 40-year-old Jason Peters who can't play for more than 20 plays in a game and have to play him at guard and tackle to try and fill in, you got a problem on the offensive line.
Yeah. Yeah.
And Tyron Smith, the last 4 years he was here, he averaged 6 games a season. Mm-hmm. These things matter. When Zeke, and people don't remember going against San Francisco in the playoff games. Zeke Elliott started the season off great. 1 year, PCL tear. Missed 1 game and came back and limped through the rest of the season. His yard per average dropped by 1.5 yards. Tony Pollard, plantar fasciitis, same season. The next year, hyperextended knee, limped his way through to the playoffs. The next year, they get rid of Zeke, and you have Tony Pollard, who you try to make your all-weather running back, and he's not a between-the-tackles guy. And without a running game, which you can look at, you can put Dak's numbers up there and say, well, Dak, and those losses, he's got 11 TDs and 6 interceptions. Take a look at what the defense gave up on the ground. Take a look at what the offense did on the ground. Mm-hmm. Those numbers are abysmal. San Francisco ran for over 170 yards on the ground, and we had less than 70 yards running ourselves. Can't win in the playoffs that way.
No, you excuse me. Sorry about that. No, you're absolutely right. I guess my thought process is again, is the Cowboy fan base looking at the team in its entirety beyond Greek dancing and phone calls at night? You know what I'm saying? Like, y'all do realize, like, Micah ain't signed yet. Y'all do realize, like, your front office is.
Well, Micah is signed. He has a contract. Okay.
Right. I mean, but
okay.
Yeah.
And I don't think the Cowboys are dumb enough to say we're not going to get his extension done. He's not going to play on the 5th-year option.
But does it have to be this expensive?
Well, here's the thing. They're going to go from $24 million right now, which is in the cap, to this year being probably about 10 to 12. So if it ends up being 41, 42 at this point, it's not really going to be a deal breaker.
So realistically, with all that we've just talked about, because again, we don't share in those concerns, right? Realistically, again, knowing that you're going against a team who's defending Super Bowl champions week 1, who's returning 10 starters on offense, 7 on defense. What do you like with everything that you see thus far? What do you think? What kind of game?
On paper, the Cowboys shouldn't have a chance. On paper, it should be a slaughter by the Eagles. Mm-hmm. I mean, seriously, you just won the Super Bowl. You're playing at home. You're having your Super Bowl celebration. The The Cowboys are on the road with a rookie head coach and a whole bunch of new players.
If there's a game to catch someone sleeping, it would definitely be week 1.
Well, that would be, and that's, and here's on the flip side of that, I'm going to say is there may be a lot of unknowns on what the Cowboys are going to do. You know, this is where a rookie quarterback sometimes can come out because you don't know what to expect with the offense and what this guy's tendencies are. And so now that you have the Cowboys that have a plethora of running backs and, you know, some changing on the offensive line, it's definitely a younger team that you never know. They might jump out and surprise you and come out with something that you're not expecting.
You guys know us better than we know you now.
Yeah.
Because this is our first time seeing this offense.
Exactly.
This is our first time seeing this defense.
Mm-hmm.
You know, this head coach. We don't know. You know, like there's if there's ever a time to catch the defending Super Bowl champions,
I agree on
game
that
one.
Yeah.
You know, so I understand. I don't ask that question to troll or to be like, because we think that. No, I just really want to know, like, what do you really think, especially when you look at the team you're going to be going against.
I would not be surprised if the Cowboys won that game.
Mm.
Am I expecting it? No. But if it happens, I wouldn't be surprised.
You want to know why? You want to know why I can understand that? You know why? Because that is just the Eagle thing to do.
Eagles usually start the season off badly. You remember last year?
It would be just like us.
People were talking about getting rid of your coach early in the season last year. You remember that, right?
I said we have a juvenile driving a Ferrari. I said that.
Mm-hmm.
I talked bad about him.
Yeah.
I didn't say get rid of him. I was just like, dude, because my issue was, listen, you good, but the moment you go back after the fans, when you start jawing at the fans in the stadium,
you look like an idiot.
You can't do that in Philly. That has never worked in the history of Philadelphia football. It has never worked out for the person who's jawed at the fans. Even when that person is on the Eagles, is coming from the Eagles sideline. It's bitch assness.
Yep.
That's what it is. That's what happened with Carson.
Mm-hmm.
That's the reason why Carson had to go. The moment Carson showed one little small ounce of bitch assness, he can't be on the team no more. Because remember, that was a team that was full of goons.
Yeah.
You see what I'm saying? So when you got a bunch of goons on your team, you can't one little small ounce of bitch assness and
they got you.
Yeah, exactly. And so that's and when a coach, especially a coach, and when Sirianni did that, I was like, bro, you can't be doing that shit, man. No, don't do that. Because now they're gonna come after you every single time. And if there's one thing that the Philadelphia Eagles fan base, particularly those that go to that damn stadium, the Link, they're known for is there's no opposite team who's gonna dig into the Philadelphia Eagles asses harder than the Philadelphia Eagles fan base. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Like, and they let you know right there. You know what I'm saying? Like they dig, those players hear that shit. That I will say is real. They don't even, like, and it's all like you saw the guy that was when they were tossing kids out of the burning building,
mm-hmm.
and the dude on the news was like, yeah, my man was throwing them babies out, and we was catching them. Unlike Aguilar with his little mishaps,
right?
Like that's that's such an Eagles fan thing to do. In the news, we're talking about saving babies, and that's how hard
your fan base is.
Yeah. Exactly. You know what I'm saying? So when they fuck up, you know what I'm saying? Like, trust me when I tell you, the fan base has told those players before y'all could say anything. They done heard it all at that point, which is why Philly is such a tough place to play. You got to have thick skin. If you ain't got thick skin,
you're in trouble.
Yeah.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying?
All right. Well, I tell you what, man. It's 10:30, and it's past my bedtime, and my mouth hurts from the damn dentist. Doing a deep cleaning.
No.
Yeah.
Well, I'm glad I was able to fill some of the space up and get. And I know people. I haven't been really paying attention
Bro,
to the
you're
chat.
worse than the Novocaine.
That hurt my feelings. My feelings are hurt.
All right, good people. I'm going to get up out of here.
Shout out to my wife, Dr. LaShawna Bridgewater. Happy anniversary. Love you, baby.
It's your anniversary?
Yes, sir.
What are you doing on here, man? You're supposed to be bow chicka wow wow.
Oh, I am.
Oh,
I am.
okay. All right. We getting out of here.
Yeah. All right, this is my quiet time now.
They say that all good things must end. Call it a night. The party's over. And tomorrow and next year starts the same old thing again.